The chronicles of the North are written in blood and steel. A fractured land, ruled by petty kings. While sharpening daggers in the dark, they spoke of alliances, of treaties, a fragile peace built on a foundation of lies. But in the cold halls of treachery, one king saw the world for what it was. A truth that earned him a title, whispered in fear across the continent. Radovid the Mad. He was not the king the North wanted. He was not the hero they prayed for. But in a land drowning in its own treachery, perhaps he was the king it truly deserved. For he knew a sickness like this could not be healed with promises. It had to be cauterized, purged by a single purifying flame, the eternal fire. This is not the story of a diplomat. This is the story of a Mad King's terrible unifying vision. This is the first Northern War. Our story began on the banks of the river Bra. It was a land gifted by the gods, not with milk and honey, but with the wheat and olives required to forge an empire. To honor the gift, our first pursuit was not the sword, but the stars. Through astrology, we sought to understand the divine will that had guided us to this land. The heavens answered, the divine spark was granted to our people. A sign that we were chosen to serve a higher purpose. But a single city cannot spread a faith. The divine spark needed to become a wildfire, and so our gaze turned south, to the fertile lands by the river. And the great city of Oxenford was born. A future bastion of knowledge and piety. Our scripture was the eternal fire. Our gospel would be spread not by preachers alone, but by coin and commerce. Every trade route became a vector for our ideology, weakening the hearts of our rivals long before our armies ever marched. To guide this spiritual conquest, the priest Moksha was appointed governor, a true servant of the gods, whose faith would become a weapon in the coming conflict. Soon the world took notice. The eternal fire was formally founded, and we were declared the chosen people, a nation destined to light the way for the entire continent. Our first missionaries were sent not to the heathens of the east, but to the very heart of our future target, the Temerian capital of Vizima. The infiltration had begun. And as our faith seeped into the land, our armies prepared. An encampment was built on the river border. Our legions were trained. The professional army was levied. The instruments of the God's will were being forged. The time for worshippers was over. The time for war had come. We declared our holy war on King Foltest of Temeria. Our soldiers, the true servants of the eternal fire, surged across the border. There would be no feints, no distractions. The objective was the head of the snake, Vizima itself. The siege was swift and brutal. The Redanian trebuchets rained fire upon the city walls. The Temerian fought with the courage of cornered lions, defending their false king. But they could not stand against a nation driven by divine will. And then it fell. Vizima, the jewel of Temeria, was ours. The kingdom was broken. The conquest of the capital sent a shockwave across the south, the lesser cities of Temeria. Their king defeated, and their spirit crushed, threw open their gates. A and swore allegiance to their new rightful rulers. Foltest's reign was over, his kingdom erased from the scrolls of history, and so the chronicles of the North are rewritten. The kingdom of Temeria is erased from the map. Its banners burned, its crown shattered. It was not a diplomat who forged this new era, it was a madman's vision, executed with unwavering steel and sanctified by the eternal fire. They will call it tyranny, they will call it madness, but they will say it from within the borders of a unified, unshakable Northern Empire. And in the end, that is the only thing that matters.